Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's Kaylan Alex. If you're new here, welcome. Go ahead and subscribe, become part of the tribe. Awesome and great things happen over here. And if you're returning, thank you so much for tuning in. So today, girl, child, we're gonna be talking about these price increases, these significant price increases that we've been seeing running rampant in this fashion industry, child. Let's just go ahead and get started. We've seen significant price increases from Chanel, which is honestly has been my favorite because it has been the one to scar me. The Chanel price increase that we received in the peak of the pandemic has been the one that has scarred me the absolute most. Like, every time I hear of a brand doing a price increase, I literally think about Chanel's price increase last year, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, why? And here we go again. So Chanel has been one that we've seen. Dior just did a price increase a few days ago. I think it's supposed to hit globally in a few days, but it's already taken effect mostly. Hermes, which we kind of haven't heard too much about, but we'll get into that later. Louis Vuitton, Cartier, and that's kind of what pops into my mind right now. Those have been ones that we've seen increases on within the last 12 months, and not just one, but some we've seen several. Chanel, we have seen several. Louis Vuitton, we have seen several, and I'm just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So it makes me wonder, why are we constantly upping the price on things? Like, why are we in the middle of a pandemic? Like, what is really going on? So I'm gonna give my thoughts on why I think it's happening and how I feel about it, rather. And I've mentioned these things in previous videos, so some things won't be anything new. Like, I've mentioned this when I do unboxing videos, when I talk about shopping pre-loved. I had a video dedicated to the Chanel price increase when I did the Chanel and Hermes comparison, which will be linked above. So some of this stuff I've kind of been talking about already, but the fact that we're being hit with it back to back to back, I'm just like, enough is enough. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? So I'm like, and I've been reading, articles on it, different articles and stuff just about the increases. And we are in a pandemic and we have all been at home. So there hasn't been as much shopping happening and people going out and needing to buy stuff, or even just like being out to need anything to go out in. So I think a lot of brands and stores have suffered because of that, especially when it comes to non-essential items. And I feel like a part of these increases are that we didn't make no money last year because everybody was at home. So we need to up these prices to like make up for the deficit, because we can't just eat the cost. And plus, if you notice, a lot of the inventory that or new things that we're getting right now is not for the season that we're in. It's literally stuff that should have been out or it's delayed. So I feel like they've been hit money-wise and product-wise, because some of the things that they would have released or given to us, we weren't able to use, so there was no need of putting it out. So we're having to pay for it. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are people who disagree completely from that. But I do think that is a reason why they're upping the prices. They've lost money and they're just trying to make up for it, while also maintaining this, what do you call it, exclusivity of their products and the accessibility of it, which is another big thing. I feel like even though the pandemic, a lot of people suffered, like, I don't know anyone who wasn't affected by it, at least some. Even if you made money during the pandemic, I definitely feel like everyone was affected by the hardships of the others, So while there were some people who were affected very bad and weren't able to have any type of disposable income, there were also a lot of people who made money during the pandemic, who were fortunate enough to still have jobs and to still be able to spend. And that was quite a few people. Like, there were still people buying. There's also a lot of money being made. And I feel like with a lot of money being made, people are able to purchase the things that they didn't think were attainable. And these brands are brands that most people feel like were unattainable, which goes into just the marketing of it. The people you see with it, you think, oh, if they can afford it, I probably can't. When in actuality, if you really look at it, it's attainable stuff. And I think we're seeing that because more people are able to shop these brands, and it's almost as though they're losing their, what do you call it? The statusy or the exclusivity of it, because so many people have it. And I feel like that's another reason why they increase. Now, I could be completely wrong, but that's just my thought process on it. I think that is part of the contributing factor to the increases, because like I said, Chanel went from a bag being $5,000 to $7,000, and here we did another increase, and the jumbo is $7,400. I cannot imagine paying $7,400 for a jumbo. And I say that right now. I don't know if my viewpoint will change in the future, if I'll become mega rich and I'm just like, oh, okay, I think that it's worth it. At this point in my life, I don't see myself doing it. And the reason why I don't see myself doing it is because a number of things, which we'll get into. I don't see myself purchasing a brand new Chanel jumbo anytime soon, like straight from the store. I think that, so for me, I look at resale value, I look at quality, I look at, does this really make sense for me? And I've seen a lot of people purchase brand new bags and they're faulty. And not just from Chanel, from Louis Vuitton, from, different brands. They mostly, because this is what I follow the most, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, those are two of my favorites. I keep up with those two the most. I've seen people purchase brand new bags and they had issues with them. And I'm just like, do I really want to do this? Because it's not just, it's a person nitpicking. We're talking simple quality control that just was missed. The C's are crooked. The edges look like they've been worn. The handle is lopsided. The flap on it is crooked. And then we have some sales associates that tell us, oh, when you wear it, it's going to straighten out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have to wear the bag for it to do what it should be doing straight out the box. Like, I've never had a sales associate tell me anything like that, but I've definitely seen it. Point blank. And when I think of things like that, I'm like, is it worth it for me to go into a store, pay this type of money when I can possibly run into this issue? With Louis Vuitton, they had a recall, or is that a recall? Is that what they call it? I can't even think of the name. But on the Pochette Matisse, there was a glazing issue on some of the bags. My mom had one that had that happen. She had to take it in the store, and then they give you a store credit for what it's worth today, which is nice, because if you paid less for it, then you have a little extra money now. But no one wants to deal with those issues. The same thing with their Palm Springs Mini. We all know the zipper. I get the idea behind it. I actually prefer the old zipper, but it just wasn't functional. The zipper kept getting caught in the lip of the bag. So there was a little lip that covered the zipper to make the zipper hidden and the bag seem more seamless. I get it. I actually preferred it that way if they could have made it work, but it just didn't work because the bag is round and the zipper kept getting caught in the leather. So it was ripping the leather. And I mean, some people's leather was really ripping and tearing, like it was a handbag made of paper. So it was like, this shouldn't be happening. That actually happened to my sister's bag. She had to send it off. They had to inspect it. They authenticated it and gave her store credit for it because of that issue. And now we see that they've come out with another version of the bag, a better version of the bag where the lip is more exposed. So you see the lip is not there, so the zipper is more exposed and you don't have that issue. So there's a smoother zipper, which is nice, but how we didn't know this before? And I preferred the zipper hidden. It's so minor, so really insignificant, but it caused that big of a deal. So when we think of issues like this, it's kind of like, is it worth it for me to go into these stores and pay what the price is increasing to? Because it doesn't make sense. Like, does it make sense when we have quality issues like that from a brand who we trust and we trust to give us quality 100% good product, and then we have these issues? Now, I understand that nothing is 100% damage proof, but there's some things that it's just like, if I'm going to spend this amount of money, I expect that the craftsmanship of the bag has been detailed and it's been properly put together, plain and simple. Another reason why I feel like we're seeing multiple brands price increase is because, in my opinion, they're wanting to be competitive amongst each other. I know Louis Vuitton and Dior are sister companies. They're under that LVMH umbrella, and they're one and the same. So I totally understand if I see a Louis Vuitton price increase and a Dior price increase. Like, it's like the parent can't do for one child if they don't do for the other. Like, it just doesn't work like that. So I think that they are also doing it to be competitive. And then my strong opinions about the Chanel price increase is that I feel like they're trying to compete with Hermes. Like, I could be wrong. I could be just, coming up with something. But I think they're trying to inch their way up to that prestige that we see with the Hermes brand. I mean, $8,000 for the maxi is a lot. For $1,000 or $2,000 more, you could literally get a Birkin. And that is crazy to me because the quality is not as consistent with Chanel recently. I'll say recently. And Chanel, I am a Chanel girl. Like, I love Chanel. I honestly don't see myself not ever buying Chanel anymore, but I do have my opinions about what's happening with Chanel. But that's how I feel. Point blank period. That's just how I feel. And it's kind of like, will we see people paying more than retail for Chanel? Like, if what I'm saying is true, and that is what's happening, that's what ends up happening, they're trying to compete with Hermes, people will pay more for an Hermes bag. Are people going to pay $1,000 to $2,000 more for a Chanel jumbo? Like, at what point does it get to that you're paying extra for the bag? Like, I don't know. I'm not seeing it right now. And I think if they would up the quality and get the quality they had years ago when our grandmothers and great grandmothers were buying Chanel and there was good leather and craftsmanship, I think if they revert to this, prestige quality control, I could see it. I could see it happening because a person would be like, okay, I've had this Chanel bag for X amount of years. My leather is not popping on the strap. My corners are not wearing. My CCs are not crooked. My flaps aren't leaning over or crooked. My, the faults that we see, we wouldn't see if there were better quality control. And I can see the bags competing a little bit. But as of right now, I'm like, girl, no. No. Why? It doesn't make sense to me. And I think about that when I think about purchasing a brand new bag from Chanel. Honestly, With the exception of my 2 jumbos, my Chanels have been purchased from the boutique. Of course, they've been in the past before these recent increases. So theoretically, I could resell them and make some money. But in this recent climate, I don't know if, because let's just use the example of the jumbo. It is $7,400 right now. Would someone go and pay $8,000 for it? Like, are we to the point where you can go in the store today and buy a jumbo for $7,400, and 2 months from now or a year from now, someone buys it for $8,000? I don't know if we're there. I really don't know if we're there. And I say that looking at the market as it is. Yes, the jumbos on the pre-loved market have gone up because there's been a price increase, which we expect. But it's not gone up to the point that it is even near what they cost retail, mostly. Depending on the condition, and it's relative. We haven't seen it go past that mark. Now, what I have seen is the medium-sized ones go up in value. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe more people are seeking the medium size versus the jumbo, because the medium is a little bit less expensive. It's a little smaller. It's that in-between size. It's not too big. It's not too small. They come in a variety of colors, and they look amazing in the colors because they aren't so big and so small. So I'm seeing a lot of those pop up, and they are either at retail or a little bit above. So in that aspect, I'm kind of like, okay, maybe we'll get there. But for the larger sizes, it's kind of like, I just don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, long-term wise, does it make sense? Like, is it worth it? I literally say that. Is it worth it? And when I calculate all the things that I've just mentioned, I'm just like, I don't know that that's worth it. I don't know if it's worth it to purchase some things straight out of the store. Now, there are some items that I'm like, okay, yeah, I would get that from the store. But then there's others I'm just like, nope, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Now, I know we spent a little time with Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Dior. Louis Vuitton is one of my favorite fashion houses. Love it. I always talk about it. Like, I love Louis Vuitton. Their price increases, I'm just like, I feel like they come mostly from them seeing people like something. Because what I've noticed with them is when they see something that people like and people are going to buy, they come out with another color, another version. They're going to up the price. They're going to create a wait list. They're going to send it to a bunch of influencers. It's going to go everywhere. And then they like attack. So it's like, with them, I feel like their price increases come from part of it. I'm just like throwing, high level stuff out there. The fact that they see people liking it and wanting, there's a need for it. So I'm going to tack on a little bit extra because I see that this item is popular. Rihanna wore this item. She made it popular. We have wait lists. Let's go ahead and put the price on it because the people want it. And I think that's that's how they play their game. And honestly, their prices don't shock me as much because I still feel like they're more attainable and less, it's less like, I don't want you wearing my stuff. It's more palatable, I guess, is a word that I've been saying to reference this ordeal. And I'm kind of okay with it. And some things like that I see it, I'm just like, I wouldn't pay that price for this item. But for the most part, overall, I'm like, okay, they've gone up in price. Okay, I get it. I knew they were going to do this. Once the item gets popular, they increase the price a little bit. I can see that. I'm fine with that. And then their items hold their value. They don't have sales. They don't, have promotions or things like that. So their products, for the most part, hold their value. And I'm like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that. And I don't have anything to just pound on and to just say I'm okay with it at this point in life. Now Dior is a special one for me because I love their products. I love their apparel and their accessories and things of that sort. I feel like when it comes to their handbags and things like that, I think about resale value. And I really do like Dior. I adore Dior. Like, I like Dior. I think about resale value when it comes to purchasing big ticket items. Now, the only time that I don't consider that is if it's a bag that I know I'm going to get all of my complete wear out of it. And when I resell it, it's going to be, okay, I've gotten my $3,500 wear out of this product. I don't mind selling it for $2,000, $1,700, because that's kind of like what it ends up being. That does not take away from the fact that it's still a very nice product, and I don't really know why it doesn't correlate. But when it comes to quality and brand identity, I think that they've been consistent with that, and I see them switching it up a little bit for the most part. Though I feel like they've been the same, and I'm okay with that. I'm even okay with their increases because they haven't been as steep as we've seen with some of the others, although still pretty expensive for the item. And it's kind of like, is it worth it for that? On the contrary, for something a little less light, we saw that Cartier did a price increase back in, I think it was October. And honestly, like I said, the Chanel price increase had me freaking out. So anytime I hear it, I freak out. And when I heard of the Cartier price increase, I was like, oh my God, they finna go up in prices. Our SA was like, yeah, we're gonna go up, blah, blah, blah. And we're just like, oh my God, I gotta get to the store tomorrow. I have to buy everything that I had on my list because I am not about to pay $1,000 extra for this item. I just can't. I'll be in the store tomorrow. Please make me an appointment. When I tell you, our sales associate cried laughing at us because he was like, it's only like, but I think their price increase was like between 1% and 5%. But we missed that whole part. Overnight, as we're looking and talking, we were like, wait a minute. It's only gonna be a 1 to 5% increase. 1 to 5%, although it is an increase, it is not 15 to 20%. It was the funniest thing because we were literally so scarred from hearing price increase and it associating with the big jump Chanel did that we just like, we were gone. And once we thought about it, we died laughing at ourselves because it was literally if I read a message and didn't understand what it meant, that was us in the flesh. Like, we were freaking out. We were freaking out. Now, when I see price increases like that, I'm like, yes, I'm here for it because we expect brands to go up. There's more money being made, and regardless of the times that we're in, there is literally so much money to be made. How it's to be made, where you decide to get it from is your business, but there's so much money in the world. And I expect for the cost of goods to go up and for likeness to increase. Like, that makes sense. It makes sense. 1 to 5%, I'm okay with that. I can deal with that. Like, yes, let's keep it there. Let's make that the standard. Like, we're good with that. So although we saw an increase, it wasn't as significant, and we aren't going crazy that Cartier did a price increase. We're not going crazy, but it was a price increase. It did happen in the pandemic, and it still scarred people. But not to the point of, I don't know if I'm gonna buy Cartier. Like, it didn't do that for me, in my opinion. So when I hear price increases like that, I'm just like, okay, I get it. That makes sense to me. But 15% does not make sense to me at all. At one time, no, it does not make sense to me. I'm sorry. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with that. Give me your viewpoints because I would really like to know What are your thoughts and opinions on it? Those are a few of my opinions and thoughts on the increases that we've seen recently. Obviously, this is a conversation that is worth way more time than allotted for right now. This is a conversation that could go on for hours. So these are just a few points that I wanted to mention. I pop in and out with these conversations when I purchase things, when I, buy things and stuff like that. So some of the stuff is new, some stuff I'm just like, wait a minute. I don't know about that. But that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to let me know in the comments what's your thoughts on it. How you feel about these increases? Do you see yourself paying more than $8,000 for a Chanel bag? Do you think they'll ever get to the point where people are paying more than that for a Chanel bag? Like, let me know. I wanna know. Let's chat in the comments. Be nice, keep it cute, okay? But don't forget to like, drop a nice comment down below, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get a notification when I post again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.